My twin brother and I graduated from college together, but my parents only paid for his tuition. He deserved it and you didn't, they said. They came to our graduation with beaming smiles, but their faces turned ghostly white when they heard my name called. When I was 17, I stood in our hallway and heard my parents talking in the kitchen. Ryan's tuition is $30,000 a year, my dad said. We'll pay all 4 years plus his dorm, meal plan, everything. And Liam? My mom asked, and she actually laughed. Oh, Liam will be fine. He's always been the clever one. He'll figure something out. This will build character. I went to my room and never said a word. 6 months later, they drove Ryan to campus in our packed SUV. New mini fridge, flat screen TV, designer bedding, a credit card for emergencies, son. I took a Greyhound bus with 2 suitcases. I found a room for $450 a month. It smelled like mildew and faced a brick wall. I scheduled classes before 2 p.m. so I could work. Library job until 10 o'clock p.m. at $12 an hour. Then I'd walk a mile to Jerry's Diner and mop floors until 3 o'clock a.m. Home by 3:30 a.m. Asleep by 4 o'clock a.m. Alarm at 6:45 a.m. every single day. Weekends, I cleaned office buildings downtown. I studied on buses, during breaks at the diner when it was dead. Ryan's Instagram was spring break in Cancun, fraternity formals, football games. When he saw me on campus once, "Dude, you look tired. You've got to manage your time better." Sophomore year, I got the flu, missed 2 shifts. The antibiotics cost $87. I paid with grocery money and 8 saltines for a week. That's when I finally called Mom. "Hey, sweetie," she answered, dishes clattering in the background. "Mom, I'm really sick. I'm $300 short for tuition this month. I can pay you back as soon as I pick up more shifts." The clattering stopped. Dead silence. Then her voice went ice cold. "Liam, we're paying for Ryan's education. That was our decision. Mom, please. I'm working 2 jobs. I'm barely sleeping." "Listen to me," she cut me off. "We paid for Ryan because he deserved it. But you didn't. You're strong, Liam. You'll figure it out. You always do." I hung up. Sat on my bed in that cold, damp room. Something inside me didn't just break. It died. I never asked them for anything again. Junior year, Professor Albright pulled me aside after I aced his brutal exam. "You look like hell, son. Where do you go every night?" "I clean a diner," I said quietly. He studied me for a long moment. "I need a research assistant, analyzing Fortune 500 corporate reports. $20 an hour. You interested?" I almost cried right there. "Yes, sir, absolutely." He became more than a boss. He actually saw me. Senior year spring, he slid a brochure across his desk. Benjamin Ford National Scholarship. 5 students in the entire country. Winners get guaranteed jobs at Ford and Levine in New York. You should apply. I spent a month on that application. Didn't tell anyone. When Mom called for weekly check-ins, she'd gush about Ryan's job interviews and fraternity fundraisers. "And you, Liam?" Always an afterthought. "Just studying, Mom." The email came on a Tuesday morning. I read it 3 times before it sank in. I'd actually won. That night, I called home. "Liam!" Mom shrieked before I could speak. "Ryan got an amazing job offer. We're taking him to celebrate this weekend." "That's great for him," I said. "Graduation's next month. You're still coming, right?" "Wouldn't miss it for the world. To see my boy walk across that stage." My boy. Singular. "They're giving out student awards at the beginning," I added casually. "Might want to arrive a little early." "Oh, that's nice, dear. As long as we get a good seat for Ryan, that's what matters." I smiled in my empty apartment. They had absolutely no idea. My name rang out for the Benjamin Ford National Scholarship, and I watched my parents freeze. After the ceremony, Professor Albright handed me a sealed envelope. "Read this before you speak to them." The handwriting was my grandmother's. She'd died 2 years ago. The letter was dated 3 weeks before her death. "Liam, if you're reading this, it means I can finally tell you the truth. My grandmother had left equal money for both Ryan and me for college, but my parents told her I'd gotten a full scholarship and didn't need it, so she added it all to Ryan's fund instead. They'd lied to a dying woman to steal my inheritance. I looked up and saw my parents walking toward me with apologetic smiles, having no idea this letter existed. Then Professor Albright told me who else knew about it and what they were planning to do, and my hands started shaking. I stood there under the tent with the envelope still open in my hand. The paper felt thin, like it might tear if I gripped it too hard. Professor Albright leaned in closer so nobody else could hear over the noise of the crowd. Families everywhere, taking pictures, hugging, laughing. "Your grandmother sent me this letter 2 years ago," he said quietly. "She tracked me down herself. Found my name in a school newsletter you sent her. You probably don't even remember doing that, but you did. Freshman year. You wrote her about making Dean's List. I didn't remember. Honestly, I barely remembered writing to Grandma Ruth at all during college. I was always too tired, too busy, too buried. She was in hospice," Albright continued, "and she wanted someone to know what your parents told her. Someone outside the family, just in case." I looked down at the letter again. The handwriting was shaky but deliberate, the kind of writing you do when your hands don't work right anymore, but you've got something important to say. Grandma Ruth had written out the whole thing, how my parents came to visit her in that hospice room, how they asked for help with college expenses, how she specifically asked about both of us, both her grandsons, and how my dad looked her straight in the eye and said, "Liam's got a full academic scholarship, Ruth. Full ride. Honestly, he doesn't need anything. He's completely set." She believed them. Why wouldn't she? They were her son and daughter-in-law. They were sitting at her bedside while she was dying. So she rewrote her will right there, with a hospice nurse as witness, redirecting my entire share, $48,000, into Ryan's college fund. All of it. Every dollar she'd set aside for me. And at the bottom of the letter, in even shakier handwriting, she wrote, "If I was wrong about Liam's scholarship, if I was lied to, I'm leaving a copy of this letter with someone Liam trusts, just in case. I hope I'm wrong, but if I'm not, I want him to know the truth." She mailed this to me 3 weeks before she died, Albright said. His voice was steady, but I could see something hard in his eyes. "I've kept it in my office safe ever since. I didn't know if you'd ever need it. I hoped you wouldn't. But she knew, Liam. Somehow, she knew." I folded the letter carefully and slid it into my jacket pocket. My hands were still shaking. I could see my parents now, across the lawn, weaving through the crowd of graduates and families. My mom had her phone out, probably getting ready to take pictures. My dad was smiling, that same easy smile he always wore at family events. They had no idea what I was holding, no idea what was about to happen. They reached me before Ryan did. My mom grabbed my arm and pulled me in for a hug, the kind of hug we never actually did in real life, but always did in public. "Oh, sweetie, that was just beautiful," she said, her voice bright and loud. "So many names. I honestly lost track. They just kept going and going." She laughed, like it was funny. My dad clapped me on the shoulder, firm and fatherly. "Great ceremony. Really great. Ryan looked sharp up there, didn't he? That blue tie was perfect." Neither of them mentioned my name being called. Neither of them asked what the Benjamin Ford National Scholarship was. Neither of them asked what it meant, what I'd won, what I was walking into on Monday morning when I started my new job in New York. "We made dinner reservations," my mom said, still holding onto my arm like I might disappear if she let go. "That Italian place Ryan loves, you know the one with the breadsticks. We can all celebrate together, as a family." I looked at her, really looked at her. She had no idea. Absolutely none. And honestly, it was almost funny. I just nodded. "Sure, sounds good." Ryan finally caught up to us, grinning, his graduation gown unzipped and hanging off one shoulder. He had his phone in one hand, probably mid-text. "There's my brother," he said, clapping me on the back. "We did it, man. We actually did it." "Yeah," I said. "We did." At dinner, Ryan sat at the head of the table. My dad literally pulled the chair out for him. The waiter came over and Ryan ordered an appetizer for the whole table without asking anyone, some kind of calamari thing, and then launched into this whole speech about his new job. Tech startup in Austin, $65,000 starting salary, sign-on bonus, equity, company car, unlimited PTO, the works. My dad hung on every single word. He raised his glass 3 separate times during the meal. To Ryan, to new beginnings, to my son, the professional. Each time he looked right at Ryan. Each time I was just sort of there, in the peripheral. I sat there with my water glass, I didn't even order a drink, and the cheapest pasta on the menu. $11, penny with marinara. I'd picked it out of habit. 4 years of scanning menus for the lowest number. 4 years of ordering water, skipping appetizers, never getting dessert. My mom looked over at me once, halfway through the meal. "Liam, you're so quiet tonight. Everything okay?" "Yeah," I said, "just tired." "You've really got to manage your energy better," Ryan said, not even looking up from his phone. He was scrolling through something, probably Instagram. "I used to feel like that sophomore year, just completely drained, you know? But then I started going to the gym at 6 a.m. and it changed everything. You should try it." "You went to the gym at 6 a.m. because you didn't have to mop a diner until 3, I thought, but I didn't say it. I just nodded and took another bite of pasta. At one point, my dad made direct eye contact with me from across the table, just for a second. And I thought maybe he was going to say something. Ask me about the scholarship, ask me about New York, ask me literally anything. But then he turned back to Ryan mid-sentence, like completing a motion, like I'd just been a brief interruption in his line of sight. Toward the end of the meal, my mom suggested I reach out to Ryan's company and see if they were hiring. "You two could be in the same city," she said brightly. "Wouldn't that be fun? You could look out for each other." Ryan didn't even respond to that. He was too busy talking to my dad about lease terms on his new apartment. I finished my pasta, left cash on the table for my portion, and went home. The next week, I pulled everything together. Every single receipt I'd kept for 4 years. I had a shoebox full of them under my bed. Bank statements going back to freshman year. The lease agreement from the mildew room, signed in shaky handwriting because I'd been 17 and terrified. Pay stubs from the library. Pay stubs from Jerry's diner, grease-stained and folded. Pay stubs from the weekend office cleaning job. I even found the crumpled receipt from the antibiotics. $87 paid at a CVS at 11:43 p.m. on a Tuesday during Saltine week. I built a folder, a thick one. I didn't think too hard about why I was doing it. I just did it. And then I called the attorney Albright had referred me to. Her name was Janet Corello. She worked out of a small office 2 blocks from campus, the kind of place with outdated furniture and a secretary who looked like she'd been there since 1987. But Albright had told me she was sharp. She doesn't look like much, he'd said, but she's a killer in court. I met with her on a Saturday morning, brought the folder, brought the letter, laid it all out on her desk and just sat there not saying anything. Janet read the letter twice, slowly. Then she looked up at me. Your grandmother specifically asked your parents if both of you needed help for college. That's what she wrote. And they told her, to her face, while she was dying, that you had a full scholarship. Yes. Janet set the letter down and tapped her pen on the desk. She had this look on her face, like she was doing math in her head. That's fraud, she said flatly. Misrepresentation to the deceased, resulting in unjust enrichment. Your parents lied to obtain financial benefit they weren't entitled to, and your brother received that benefit. What do I do? I asked. She leaned back in her chair. We file a civil claim, fraudulent misrepresentation. We go after the $48,000 they redirected to your brother, plus documented damages for the financial hardship you endured as a direct result of their lie. We cite this letter as proof of intent and third-party corroboration. She paused. And we see if they want to settle or if they want to fight. What if they fight? Then we go to court, she said simply. And honestly, we win. This letter is gold. Third-party witness, dated, signed. Your grandmother explicitly wrote that she was leaving it with someone in case she'd been lied to. That shows intent and awareness. Any halfway decent judge will see this for what it is. I sat there for a minute, just thinking. Then I nodded. Okay, do it. One more thing, Janet said. She pulled out a legal pad and clicked her pen. Before we file, I want you to do something for me. Call your brother. Don't tell him about the lawsuit. Just ask him, casually, if he knew where his college money came from. See what he says. Why? Because if he knew, even partially, that the money came from your grandmother and that you were supposed to get half, that's another layer. It shows knowledge. It makes the case stronger. So I did it. That night I called Ryan. Kept it light at first. Asked him how the apartment hunt was going, whether he'd started packing yet. Then I just slipped it in, casual as anything. Hey, random question. Did you ever know that Grandma Ruth helped pay for college? He paused. Not a normal pause, a long one. The kind of pause people do when they're deciding what to say. Then, I thought it was just like savings. You know, mom and dad's savings. I didn't really ask where it came from. Right, I said. Okay, just wondering. Why? He asked. His voice had an edge now. No reason. Just thinking about her lately. Okay. He didn't sound convinced. Well, yeah, I think they mentioned she helped out or something, but I don't really remember the details. Cool. Thanks, man. I hung up. That pause told me everything. He knew. Maybe not the whole story. Maybe not the lie. But he knew some of it. He knew Grandma Ruth had been involved, and he'd never once mentioned it to me. I called Janet back and told her. Perfect, she said. 3 days later, my mom called. I was in the middle of packing, or at least pretending to pack, when my phone rang. I almost didn't answer, but something made me pick up. Her voice was different from the first word. Careful, like she was stepping on ice. Hey, sweetie, just calling to check in. How's everything going? You must be getting ready for the big move, huh? Yeah, I said. Packing. That's exciting. New York, big city. Your father and I are so proud of you, Liam. We really are. She'd never said that before. Not once in 4 years. We were just talking about you last night, she continued. And about Grandma Ruth, actually. I've just been missing her lately, thinking about her a lot. It's been 2 years, but it still feels fresh, you know? I didn't say anything. Have you heard from anyone on that side of the family recently? She asked. Her voice was so careful it was almost painful. Like, I don't know, cousins? Uncle Jim? Anyone? It was too specific, too nervous. She knew something, or suspected something. No, I said. Why? Oh, no reason. Just wondering. You know how family is. People fall out of touch. Yeah, there was a long silence. Then she said, well, okay, I'll let you get back to packing. Love you, sweetie. She hung up before I could respond. I sat there holding my phone, staring at the screen. Then I called Janet. They know, I said. Good, she replied. Let them sweat. The formal legal notice went out certified mail the following Monday. Janet had drafted it herself. Clean, direct, and absolutely brutal. A civil claim citing fraudulent misrepresentation to Ruth Callahan, deceased, resulting in unjust enrichment of $48,000 plus 4 years of documented financial damages, including lost wages, physical and emotional harm, and educational hardship. She attached copies of the letter, preliminary probate records, and a partial summary of my work schedules and pay stubs. My dad started calling that same day, 4 times in 2 hours. I didn't answer. My mom texted around dinner time. Liam, this is a family matter. Please call us. We need to talk about this. I left it on read. Ryan texted an hour later. What the hell is going on? Dad just called me freaking out. Call me. I didn't respond to that either. Saturday morning, they showed up at my apartment. I heard the knock and I knew it was them before I even looked through the peephole. I thought about not answering. Thought about just letting them stand out there. But I opened the door. My dad was in a polo shirt and khakis. My mom's eyes were already red and puffy. They looked smaller than I remembered. Older. My dad's hair was grayer. My mom's hands were shaking. Liam, my dad said. His voice was controlled, but I could hear it shaking underneath. We need to talk about this. Right now. Okay, I said. I didn't move from the doorway. Didn't invite them in. This is a misunderstanding, he said, his words coming faster now. A complete misunderstanding. Grandma Ruth wanted to give Ryan more money. She offered. We didn't force anything. She made that decision herself. Okay, I said. This lawsuit is insane, Liam. You're talking about something that happened 4 years ago. You can't just... Why did you tell her I had a scholarship? I asked. He stopped. His mouth was still open, but no words came out. My mom started crying. Full tears. The ugly kind. Liam, please, please. You don't understand what this is going to do. This is going to destroy our family. Your father's job, the house, everything. We could lose everything. You can't do this to us. Why did you tell her I had a scholarship? I repeated. She looked at the floor. My dad tried again. We thought you'd be fine. You were always so independent, Liam, so smart. We knew you'd figure it out, and you did. Look at you. You graduated. You got the Ford scholarship. You're going to New York. You did it all on your own. Because I had to. Because you could, he said. Ryan needed more help. He's different than you. We had to make a choice. You didn't have to lie to Grandma Ruth, I said quietly. My mom sobbed. She was dying, Liam. She was dying. And we were trying to make things easier. We were trying to help. We didn't think... You didn't think I'd find out, I finished. Neither of them said anything. You should go, I said. My dad's face went hard. If you go through with this, Liam, you're destroying this family. You understand that? You're tearing us apart over money. No, I said. You did that. 4 years ago. I closed the door. Ryan called that night. He didn't say hello, just started talking the second I picked up. What the hell are you doing, Liam? Seriously, what the hell? I'm doing what I should have done a long time ago. You're suing Mom and Dad, our parents, over something that happened when we were teenagers. They lied to Grandma Ruth so they could steal my inheritance and give it to you. Steal? Jesus, Liam, listen to yourself. They made a parenting decision. They allocated family resources. That's not fraud. That's just life. And now you're trying to destroy them over it? They told a dying woman I had a full scholarship so she'd give you all the money. Ryan went quiet for a second. Then, you don't know that's what happened. I have a letter that says exactly that. A letter from Grandma Ruth? She was on morphine half the time, Liam. She probably didn't even... Don't, I said. My voice came out harder than I meant it to. Don't do that. Don't disrespect her like that. I'm not disrespecting anyone. I'm being realistic. You're going to make them lose the house, Liam. You know that, right? You're going to make them lose everything over your grudge. It's not a grudge. Then what is it? It's the truth. He laughed. Actually laughed. The truth. Right. The truth is you're pissed that you had to work harder than I did, and instead of just moving on like a normal person, you're burning everything down. I used that money, Ryan said, his voice rising now. I used it for tuition. It's gone. It paid for my education. You can't just come back 4 years later and claw it out of me. That's not how the world works. I know, I said. He paused. You know? I know you used it. That's exactly the point. You used money that was supposed to be mine. Money that Grandma Ruth set aside for both of us. And Mom and Dad lied so you could have it all. You're going to ruin their lives over this. Yeah, I said quietly. I know. He hung up. Janet called me the next week. I was in the middle of a shift at the diner. My last week there, finally, when my phone buzzed. I stepped outside into the alley to take the call. We've got movement, she said. Their attorney filed a response. And they're contesting, arguing that your grandmother's decision was fully voluntary, that no misrepresentation occurred, and that the letter is insufficient evidence because it's handwritten, unwitnessed, and represents only one side of the story. What does that mean? It means they're going to fight. Their lawyer is also making a secondary argument, a character argument. He's saying you've been estranged from the family for years, that you cut off contact, and that you're now using a letter from a deceased woman as leverage in what's essentially a family dispute. That's not... I know, Janet said. It's a standard defense strategy. They're trying to paint you as vindictive, the estranged son with an axe to grind. Don't take it personally. It's just legal posturing. What about the letter? The letter is solid, Liam. Handwritten doesn't mean invalid. It's dated. It's signed. It's corroborated by a credible third-party witness, Professor Albright, and it directly contradicts their narrative. We're in very good shape. Okay, there's one more thing, Janet said. They've made an initial settlement offer. How much? $15,000. I actually laughed. Standing in a diner alley at 10:30 at night, and I laughed. 15. I told them no, but I wanted you to hear it. I wanted you to know what they think this is worth. Yeah, I said. Thanks. We're going to push forward. I'm going to start pulling full discovery. All financial records related to your grandmother's estate, their tax returns from the relevant years, Ryan's tuition payments, everything. If there's anything else they're hiding, we'll find it. Okay. Get some rest, Liam. This is going to take a few weeks, maybe longer. I hung up and went back inside, finished my shift, mopped the floors, walked home in the dark like I'd done 1,000 times before. A week later, Janet called again. This time her voice was different, sharper, almost excited. Liam, we found something. What? I pulled the full probate records from your grandmother's estate. Not just the will, everything. All associated accounts, transfers, everything that went through probate court. Okay. There's a savings account that wasn't listed in the main will distribution. A separate account your grandmother kept at a credit union. It was specifically labeled 4 grandsons. $11,200, meant to be split equally between you and Ryan upon her death. My stomach dropped. Okay. That account was closed 6 weeks after your grandmother died. The full balance was withdrawn in a single transaction. By who? Your father. He had power of attorney over her estate. He was the executor. He closed the account, withdrew the funds, and according to the records, none of it was ever distributed to you. I had to sit down. I was standing in my apartment and I actually had to sit down on the floor. They took that too? I said. They took that too. I didn't say anything for a long time. I just sat there on the floor of my apartment, phone pressed to my ear, staring at the wall. Liam? Janet's voice was gentle now. You still there? Yeah. We're going to amend the claim. This is separate from the will. This is a direct account meant for you, and they took it. It's documented. It's clean. This changes everything. Do it, I said, already drafting it. When the amended claim hit, everything shifted. Janet filed it on a Thursday. By Friday afternoon, my parents' attorney had called her office twice. The documentation of the savings account withdrawal, something they clearly had not known we'd find, had blown their defense apart. Their lawyer came back Monday morning with a new offer, $41,000. I sat with it, didn't call Janet back right away. That evening, I got in my car and just drove. I didn't have a destination in mind. I just needed to move. I ended up at Jerry's Diner. I don't even know why. Habit, maybe. I went inside and sat at the counter. The same counter I used to mop under at 3 a.m. The same stools I used to wipe down with bleach cleaner until my hands cracked. I ordered coffee. The same burnt, terrible coffee I used to drink on my 15-minute breaks when my hands were shaking so bad from exhaustion I could barely hold the cup. The night manager recognized me. Guy named Pete. He'd been there the whole 4 years. Liam? That you? Yeah, heard you graduated. Congrats, man. Thanks. You coming back for shifts? I shook my head. No, I'm done. I start a new job Monday. Good for you, Pete said. He meant it. You earned it, man. I've never seen anyone work as hard as you did. I sat there for over an hour, just drinking coffee and thinking. The diner was almost empty. Just me and a couple truckers in the corner booth. The fluorescent lights buzzed. The same buzz I used to hear while I mopped. Then I went home and called Janet. I'll take 52, I said. 52? 41 plus the 11.2 from the savings account. I want all of it, not a dollar less. They took every cent that was supposed to be mine. I want every cent back. She was quiet for a second. Then, I'll make the call. It took 3 days. My parents' attorney tried to negotiate down, offered 45, then 48. Janet held firm. 52, or we go to court. Your call. They agreed on Wednesday. The settlement came through as a wire transfer that afternoon. I was sitting in my apartment when my phone buzzed with the bank notification. I opened the app and stared at the number. $52,000. Just sitting there in my account. I stared at it for a solid 5 minutes. Then I logged into my student loan account. 4 years of debt. $23,000, accumulated across 8 different loans at varying interest rates. I'd been making minimum payments for a year, chipping away at it $50 at a time. I paid it off, all of it, every last dollar. It took maybe 15 minutes. I clicked through each loan, entered the payoff amount, confirmed the transaction. Done. 4 years of debt. Gone. I sat there in the silence of my apartment. The same apartment I'd lived in since junior year, the one that still smelled faintly of mildew even though I'd scrubbed it a dozen times. I looked around, at the desk where I used to study at 4 a.m. before my first class, at the corner where I used to pile my work uniforms, at the window that faced a brick wall. Then I texted Professor Albright. Just 2 words. It settled. He replied almost immediately, "Your grandmother would be glad." I put my phone down, got up, walked over to my alarm clock. The same alarm clock I'd had since freshman year. It was still set for 6:45 a.m. 4 years of that alarm. 4 years of stumbling out of bed in the dark, half dead from 3 hours of sleep, forcing myself to get to class. I changed it to 7:30 a.m. Then I started packing, for real this time. I pulled out my suitcase. the same one I'd brought on the Greyhound bus 4 years ago, and started filling it, but not with the same stuff. I didn't pack anything from the diner, didn't pack the stained apron or the non-slip shoes or the t-shirts that reeked of grease no matter how many times I washed them. Didn't pack anything from the library, didn't pack anything that smelled like mildew or cleaning chemicals or desperation. I packed new clothes, stuff I'd bought after graduation with my first real paycheck from Professor Albright's research assistant job. A blazer, 2 button-down shirts, new jeans that actually fit, shoes that weren't falling apart. The kind of things you wear when you're not mopping floors at 3 in the morning. The kind of things you wear when you have a real job. My first day at Ford and Levine started tomorrow. I zipped up the suitcase, looked around the apartment one last time. Then I turned off the light and closed the door behind me. Thanks for watching till the end. Make sure to like and subscribe to not miss the next story.